News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk, KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
An international child pornography ring with its tentacles in western Montana has been broken. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. Congratulations, you made it. It's Friday, January the 8th, 2016. Sky is cloudy right now. Roads have become slick. We had a little overnight snow, just enough to make the roads very slick. Right now we do have a winter weather advisory, bare and wet, with intermittent snow and ice. Good news is, though, the Stage 2 air pollution alert has been called off. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by Bullseye Wear, where they offer some of the lowest prices in town on contact lenses. See Lynette at 2910 South Reserve. This morning's top story, an international child pornography ring was officially broken Thursday with convictions in a Missoula federal courtroom. U.S. Attorney for Montana, Michael Cotter, said the case actually began in 2012 and stretched over 2 continents, with law enforcement agencies in Montana, the FBI, and Great Britain all taking part in the investigation.
It all started by a report in 2011 of child pornography, and following that tip, FBI, Homeland Security Special Agents, and Internet Crimes Against Children task force officers executed a search warrant in Polson, Montana. That was at the residence of a guy by the name of Paul Winsowitz.
Cotter said these defendants were extremely dangerous.
They were exploiting girls as young as 4 years of age. Some had images of girls that were younger in those personal collections. Some of them had as many as 6 million items of photographs in their collections.
Cotter said the trials were held in federal court in Missoula, and the sentences handed down are not eligible for parole.
We obtained 21 convictions. The men ranged in age from 25 years to 67 years of age. The sentences imposed by Judges Malloy and Christensen ranged between 180 months and 220 months.
Cotter said, as satisfying as it is to close this case, he knows law enforcement is just scratching the surface of the worldwide plague of child pornography. The Valley Christian School community is grieving this morning after a one-vehicle crash that occurred late Wednesday night off Buckhouse Lane near Highway 93 South and Blue Mountain Road. Montana Highway Patrol Trooper Andrew Novak said the vehicle swerved several times before leaving the road.
Went off the right side of the road, went airborne after leaving the road, and it landed some distance away at near the bottom of an irrigation coulee. And the 2 young folks inside sustained some severe injuries.
KGVO News was told that 15-year-old twins were involved in the crash. Both were transported to St. Patrick Hospital. The girl who was driving was injured, but the boy received critical injuries and, according to a Facebook post by officials at the school, is currently on life support. No names have yet been released. Attorney General Tim Fox says that enhanced security measures included in Montana's new driver's licenses are not meant to comply with federal standards. He says could create, quote, an Orwellian national ID system, end quote. Fox spoke to reporters yesterday, a day after the State Department of Justice announced new licenses and identification cards designed to reduce fraud and identity theft. He says it's a coincidence that the security upgrades bring the state closer to compliance with the Real ID Act. The Montana legislature unanimously voted in 2007 to bar the state from complying with Real ID over concerns about privacy and the U.S. government setting standards in an area traditionally handled by the states. Fox appeared with Senator Steve Daines, who plans to introduce legislation seeking to repeal Real ID. The Montana Department of Transportation has a bold initiative to reduce Montana traffic fatalities to 0 in 2016. Director Mike Tooley said the project is called Vision Zero.
Vision Zero is founded on 4 different approaches. One is enforcement, engineering, education, and then also emergency medical services. All of those things work together to help people prevent being involved in crashes.
Tooley said drivers need to get serious and focus all their attention on their driving.
It's the same story that it has been for many years, and it's behavior behind the wheel. Folks need to buckle up. They need to slow down, and they need to drive sober and undistracted.
Tooley said he hopes to discover a way to grab the attention of Montana drivers and help them understand the seriousness of drunk or distracted driving. The Montana Bureau of Business and Economic Research will begin conducting their annual Economic Outlook seminars this month. The Outlook will provide information about the strengths and challenges facing the Montana economy this year. According to Bureau Director Patrick Barkey, this year's seminar will focus on property taxes.
Most things which are measured in dollars go up over time, mostly because of inflation. But in the case of property taxes, property tax bills in most parts of Montana have gone up faster than income, and so that means that they're a little bit more burdensome for folks around the state to pay.
Property taxes can vary wildly from place to place in Montana. Some places, like the city of Missoula, quote, have had higher than average property taxes for many years, end quote. One of the issues the seminar will examine is how high and low property taxes influence the size of the tax base.
The communities which have been the most successful in growing their tax base have been the ones that have seen less growth in property tax. The one that stands out in that score is Gallatin County and Bozeman, which has done a little bit better than other parts of the state in terms of growing the base.
The seminar will tour through 9 Montana cities and here in Missoula, January 29th at the Hilton Garden Inn. Montana Department of Health and Human Services is trying to warn Montanans about norovirus, a highly contagious, sometimes fatal disease that regularly outbreaks about this time of year. Epidemiologist Dana Fegis explains.
Norovirus often is something that we see in Montana year-round, but it usually peaks in the wintertime. Outbreaks of norovirus are often reported between December and April, and so far the season has been relatively slow. We're in the middle of it. And we just wanted to make sure everyone was aware to stay home when they're sick with nausea, vomiting, and diarrhea.
Fegis says norovirus is always present in the population, so it's hard to say how many cases Montana sees each year.
Individual cases of norovirus are not reported, so we don't really know the actual number of people that are ill every year. But in terms of outbreaks that are reported to us, every year we'd say about 900 individuals, 900 to 1,000 are affected. That's just part of outbreaks, so there's definitely more out there that are not part of an outbreak or that we don't hear about.
The typical bout of norovirus lasts for 1 to 3 days, but can be much longer for children, the elderly, and those with health complications. The best way to fight the disease? Wash your hands a lot. The U.S. Forest Service is planning to salvage timber sales for trees damaged by fire in the Nez Perce Clearwater National Forest. Agency officials are streamlining the process to approve the removal of dead and dying trees scorched by summer wildfires. Our News Talk time now, 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
A cold front will move into the region and stall. Moisture overrunning the front will bring a chance of some very light snow, with the heaviest snow in the mountains. Lows in the teens with highs tomorrow in the 20s. I'm meteorologist Mark Haka for KECI 13, your severe weather alert station.